I'm Jane Younger. I'm a PhD student at the Institute for Marine and Antarctic Studies and the Australian Antarctic Division. We've done a study looking at emperor penguins and how they were affected by climate change in the past, specifically the last ice age and what happened after that as well. Emperor penguins are very adapted to cold, obviously. They live in one of the harshest environments in the world and they breed in the Antarctic winter when its temperatures are about -30 most of the time. We took genetic samples from penguins at 8 different colonies around Antarctica. We sampled primarily from penguins that are already dead, so the chicks have a high mortality rate, so fortunately we're just able to sample from those. What we've measured is the genetic diversity of the different colonies, and that's directly related to the population size. So a larger population has more genetic diversity. And by using coalescent modelling, we're able to infer population sizes at different times in the past. We found that during the last ice age, the number of emperor penguins in Antarctica was about 7 times less than it is today, and that rather than being in colonies all the way around Antarctica, they're actually restricted to 3 breeding populations. Today there's almost 50. We have a few ideas of why that might be. Firstly, there might have been just too much sea ice, so the extent was about twice what it is today. And so the locations around the continent where they're able to breed were probably fewer. Also, temperatures were colder, about 15 degrees colder on average, which might have been a problem for the chicks during the winter. They might not have survived as well. And there was probably less prey resources available during the ice age as well.
This research was very interesting because I don't think that any of us involved in the study had ever expected to find that it could possibly even get too cold for emperor penguin. We don't have a lot of long-term data really for most of the colonies, but some of them we have observed for the last 20 years or so seem to be doing reasonably okay, others not so well. But until, say, about maybe 20 years ago, this species was living in a very good environment. What we are facing is an increase in temperatures. Now, where the emperors are at the moment is probably near their physiological tolerance of where they can actually cope with it. If it gets much warmer, physiologically they might well struggle. Emperor penguins get actually heat stressed when it's 0 degrees. Anything above that, and they are really doing it tough. They don't have sweat glands. To try and shed that extra heat is going to be really difficult for them. But apart from that, it is really difficult actually to predict what might happen to the species in the future, because we really don't quite know how fast things are changing. The change that has been observed in the region of the Antarctic Peninsula is certainly much faster than anything we have seen over the past 20,000 years. So adaptation is going to be a challenge for a very long-lived bird.